Going to be using the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Velour Liquid Scrub in the flavor Vanilla Mint, just to exfoliate my lips a little before applying any makeup. Okay, so first I'm going to be starting with my eyebrows as usual. I'm going to be using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in the shade Dark Brown. I'm just going to do my eyebrows real quick. Now I'm going to be using the Master Concealer from Maybelline New York, and I'm just going to clean up the eyebrows. Once I've cleaned up the eyebrow a little, I'm just going to pat and extend the concealer down my eye just to have a nice clean base for the shadow. Now I did one eye on camera. I'll be right back once I do the other one. Bye! Alright guys, we're back. Now we're going to start with the Blue Blood palette from Jeffree Star, and we're going to go into the shade Wealthy. And we're going to be applying that all over our lid just for a nice base. And we're going to be taking the color Blue Blood from the Blue Blood palette. And we're going to be applying that all over the eyelid. And I forgot to mention the brush that I'm using is the Anastasia Beverly Hills, the one that comes in those palettes. That's what I'm using. Now we have to keep in mind that blues are a really hard color to blend in our eyes, so just make sure every single time you put a different colored toned blue to blend everything really seamlessly, because blues are hard to work with sometimes. Now we're going to be taking the color Blue Monday, and we're going to be applying it on the lower part of the lid. Make sure not to cover up that light blue that we had put on at the beginning, just so it looks like a nice transition into a light blue to a little bit darker blue. Now I'm going to be taking the flat side of that Anastasia Beverly Hills brush and just packing on that Blue Monday shade on the lid just to intensify that color a little bit more. And I'm going to flip it and just make sure to blend the color Blue Monday and Blue Blood together. Now I'm going to be taking the same concealer and just cutting the crease. I like doing it with a really thin brush just to try to make both eyes look even. I know it's hard sometimes, but I feel like with the really tiny brush you could get it close to it. And then I use the big concealer brush just to tap off any excess product that I might have, just to make it a little bit more matte. Now I'm going to be applying that same Wealthy shade we applied at the beginning, and I'm just going to set it just like that. Now I'm going to go back with the same shade, Blue Monday, and I'm just going to blend in the concealer and the eyeshadow together, just so there's no harsh lines and it doesn't look all wonky. Right now we're going to take the color Cullinan and we're going to put that right in the inner corner. It's a really bright shimmery shade that would look really good in the inner corner. Now we're going to be taking the color Entitled and we're going to be putting it in the middle of my eyelid, just to blend in that white shimmery shade into the blue, just so it looks like a nice ombre effect. The last shade we're going to be using today is called Ocean Ice, and we're going to put it at the end corner of the eye, just to blend it in with the color Entitled, and once again make it look like an ombre effect from light to dark. And feel free to go back and intensify the colors or to blend in a little more if needed, just so it looks nice and smooth and not choppy like white, turquoise, and then dark blue, just so it has that nice ombre effect and it doesn't look so patchy. Now I'm just going to be taking a concealer and just cleaning up the eyeshadow a little bit, just so I won't have blue under eyes all day. Now I'm going to be taking the Jeffree Star Velour Liquid Lipstick in shade Drug Lord, and I'm going to be putting that right on top of that cut crease. From the same brush that I used to conceal, I'm going to take it and get a little bit of product from the wand and just apply it on my eyes that way, just to make a nice fine line. Now I'm going to be taking up my black eyeliner from e.l.f. It is in the shade Jet Black, and I'm just going to be making a wing. Now I'm going to be taking a little bit of concealer and just fixing those mistakes away. Yes, bitch. Now I'm going to be taking the same shade I applied in the inner corner and applying it on my brow bone, just to make it look a little bit brighter. Now I'm just going to be applying some quick lashes. Now, do you guys see that little white line that is on my eyelash? That's usually comes on when you wear the eyelashes and the glue just sticks on there. So just to cover that up, I use just my eyeliner and just cover it up a little just so it looks nice, black and dark. And you don't look ratchet. Just so your makeup looks good, okay? Now I'm going to be taking my two foundations, the Infallible L'Oreal foundation in Pro Matte. The shade is 108. And then I use the second shade, which is a little bit darker. And that shade is the 209, but in the Pro Glow. Because I do have combination skin. In some parts it's dry, in some parts it's oily, so I mix the two, and plus I don't have my perfect foundation shade, so I try making one that's similar. Once I've applied my foundation, I use my Real Techniques blending sponge to buff everything out. Make sure when you're blending in your foundation, you get in right under your eyes, in your nose, and down your neck, because sometimes, like, if the foundation doesn't really match you, it looks kind of weird there's like a line in your jawline where it's like the foundation, and then your neck and your actual skin, and it looks a little bit cakey. So every single time you blend in your foundation, make sure you get all of those spots and it doesn't look wonky when you're like out in public and then people see the foundation line. It looks pretty nasty. I've seen it on so many people. Now for highlighting my face, I use the Age Rewind Concealer. I'm not sure what shade it is in, but I just like putting it in the high points of my face. I like making the little fishy face just to mark where my concealer goes. And then once again, just blend everything with my Real Techniques blending sponge. Now I'm going to be setting my concealer, and I'm going to be using the Fit Me Loose finishing powder in the shade 10 Fairlight. And I like taking the powder with the same sponge and just dipping in and patting it into my skin. I found out that it's better to just pat it in instead of just like baking. I like patting it in now. It gives me more of a flawless finish, and I feel like it lasts longer. It doesn't wear out as much throughout the day, and it makes me look a little bit more matte. Now I'm just going to be contouring and applying some blush. The blush I use is from Tarte, and I'm not sure what the name of it is. Now I'm going to be baking under my contouring blush, just doing it with a sponge, drawing a straight line down my jaw, just so it looks more sharp. And I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlight, and I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. It's Amrezy. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's really good. Now I'm going to be taking that white shade from the palette, and I'm going to be applying it also as a highlight. It's really, really bright, especially because I'm a little bit of a darker complexion, so too much could look a little crazy on me. Now I'm going to be taking the color Flourishing, and I'm going to put it on my lower lash line just so I could complete the look. Now I'm just going to be applying a little bit of mascara on my lower lashes, and then I'm going to be taking a big fluffy brush and just dusting all of that powder off. Now I'm going to be taking Drug Lord and applying it as my lipstick. Just kidding. I'm going to be applying the Wet n Wild lipstick. The shade is 925B. well guys, that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And this is the look. Leave a comment down below and give this video a thumbs up. Bye. Bitch. It came out good. Took forever though, bitch.